Greetings, blessed new day, grand rising. For those who don't understand why people say grand rising, I'm sure that it can probably sound, like corny if you don't understand. But the reason why um, I say grand rising, and I believe a lot of the people do, is because saying good morning is actually like a negative spell if you understand um, how everything that comes out of your mouth is a creation. And so morning has is it a homophone? It sounds the same. Morning, um, which is, what you do when someone is dead, you know? And there are a lot of other words related to that are similar. Like if you say that you're awake, awake is what they have after a funeral, or saying hello, and different things like that. So, grand rising, that's the reason why we express it in that way. It is a conscious use of words. And so I'm coming on today because I've made a commitment, as I did before, but I was having issues with my computer, um, to actually film every day. And today I want to talk a little bit about authenticity and how that is the time that we're living in, is to focus less on studying other people, studying other things, and really just pulling from within yourself and being authentic. Because we've created a very fake world of people copying others who quite often are hypocrites and don't even live what they say. And so for me, being a Virgo, I've actually had a hard time in the past coming to the fore and sharing because, first of all, I am quite the individual. I do not subscribe to the status quo. I do not subscribe to a lot of the predominant belief systems that people hold to be true. But then now I know that that is part of my value in this world. It's because I know a different perspective, I know a different way to live that works for me. And I think that I need to share it so that people can at least hear other options and perspectives. Okay, so I am in Mexico, and that alone is a choice based off of my own authenticity of what I need as far as weather, as far as health, which is what I put number one. At my age, I think I've always put health as one of the number one priorities, but it is my number one priority now, for sure. As long as I'm nurtured and feeling healthy, I can always pull all the wonderful gifts that I have inside of me out and be uplifted. So I'm in Mexico, and my whole goal is to live my most authentic life for myself, which, again, in the past has been very difficult because I am a very social person. I actually see myself as a community leader. But then when you challenge the perspectives and the views of authority, that can put you in a very challenging situation, compromising situation. I've definitely been attacked consistently all throughout my adult life because I am so unique in my vision, and I guess I'm threatening to a lot of people that feel that they need to have all of the power and all of the say in how things go. And I have just decided that I'm not going to allow that to stop me from doing my part in this life. I am still a spiritual leader, a community leader. And yeah, I would say actually that it is based on spirit more than anything else, which is something that I've never really come out to say. So basically, this is like a coming out of the closet for me. The fact that I am a very staunch spiritualist, meaning that my number one priority, actually, even before my physical health, is my spiritual health, because that's where it all begins. And a lot of people are very spooked by the idea of what a spiritualist is. And I mean, of course, it depends on the state of your spirit. But what it means to me is that when I'm faced with anything, my aim is to see, number one, what does spirit want me to do? Like, I know that I came here with a very divine purpose. And I've always known that. I came here with a very divine purpose. And so everything that I do must be in line with that. Okay? And that doesn't mean that I've always done the right thing. It means that I've always sought to. I've always sought to do the right thing. And I knew at a very young age, as an adult, when I was still at Howard University, that I needed to take my studies in spirituality very, very seriously, because I was raised in a very conservative church environment. My grandfather and great-grandfather were very accomplished pastors in South Carolina with many churches. Thus, my mother, being a preacher's child, very much was into, not so much praying. She wasn't. She is not spiritual, but she's very much into the institution of following what people think in the church, which is not me. So naturally, this has brought up very serious generational issues, which also are relevant for all of us. We've all been subjected to the same techniques and strategies for mind control, and people talk about how slavery is over, and it really just is not. It's not over at all. I also, beyond Mexico, I also lived in Ghana, and I can say that Ghana, Mexico, and the United States, the people are still trying to come up out of the incredible evil of what the churches have done to people, and I happened to be born into a family that had incredible resource when I was a child, and so I was very privileged to have been educated with the most elite people in the world. In Palos Verdes, I went to a school named Chadwick, and at that school they had people such as Ronald Reagan's son was there when I was there. There were celebrities. Bobby Lookingland from the Brady Bunch was there when I was there. There was his name Tom Sawyer? Was that his name? The guy who wrote If You Could See What I Hear, he is blind. His son went to my school, was a little younger than me. I remember seeing people with DeLoreans driving up and coming out, those kinds of things, like the super, super rich in LA. While I lived in Compton, and of course was one of the only black faces in my class. Um, very, very privileged indeed. But my privilege did not continue like the other people who went to that school. My family had issues, and my family did not come from the same kind of wealth, obviously. I mean, even though my grandfather was prestigious, he was prestigious as a very dark skinned man who I'm sure had to execute things on behalf of the white people who were enslaving all the black people. So he was kind of like an agent on some level, which is what all successful elite black people in the United States are. They're all agents, you know. No offense if you're a black elite. However, offense, you know, feel free to take offense related to the organization and, um, you know, how this demonic system is crushing all of us, you know, all the way down to what we are seeing with our children right now. So in my experience, as I traversed in the elite circles of, you know, Jack and Jill, and, you know, I was around, of course, all the sororities and fraternities, you know, and just these people who actually believe that they deserve to be higher than other people, and what they do with that privilege is disgusting, because what they do is they ensure that that we stay in this despicable situation that we've been in as a people and as a country. Like, you know, I don't just associate with black people in my mind as far as who my community or family are anymore, because, you know, we're connected in spirit first, and I recognize my spirit family in all races, which is something that I had to grow into because I was born to be prejudiced. Like, again, you can't really say racist when you talk about black people, because we're coming from a place where we don't have the power to inflict on other people the same. But prejudice, dangerously prejudiced, and black people are just as racist to one another. So in that way we can be racist, because when it's black on black racism, like if you are putting someone else down because they're black, even if you're black, if you're putting someone else down or pushing them down, making sure that you don't give them opportunity, which is done every day by black people in elite positions, yeah, you're practicing racism just the same. And so it really takes wisdom to come out of that idea that, you know, my people, you know, as far as what you identify with by color, you know. Martin Luther King said it, you know, that you can't judge a person by their character. I mean, by the color of their skin, but of their character. That's what the aim is, and that's what we should all shoot for. Because again, everything is spirit first. And if we follow the laws of spirit, then we will be able to alleviate these issues that we are having in this physical world. So, speaking of authenticity, I want to address the whole situation as far as sexuality right now in the world. It's much bigger than the Pride movement. You know, we can look at the situation with Jeffrey Epstein and how it is far-reaching across the top of every industry, and how much people have worked to not discuss it and acknowledge what it's teaching us. But what it is teaching us is this hypersexuality is demonic, okay? Succubus, incubus energies are demonic, and they will capture your soul through sex. Sex is sacred. And so, it's nothing to play with. It's like, um, as an example, let's just make a parallel example of food, right? Like, food is sacred, but if people decided that they wanted to eat a whole lot of junk food and started to promote it, and like we have like a day to uplift junk food, things that kill you, um, it would have that effect on us. And it's the same thing with sexuality. Sexuality is not to be played with. It's not to be um, seen as something to pervert, something to just stretch. Okay, and the thing is that I know that people are probably thinking of sexual acts. I'm not talking about sexual acts. I'm talking about your intention from person to person as far as why you're having sex, right? What's most important is the quality of that intention between two human beings. And that is what we should be taking pride in. Like showing all the different sexual acts or all the different people that you can have sex with and all those things. That's not even worth promoting. Because one thing about sex is that it is a very occult issue. It is something that is magical. It is something that is done in the dark for a reason. It is not something that's supposed to be paraded in the streets. Yes, in all ancient cultures, they did have like sex festivals and things like that, but children were not pulled in, and it was not like a political thing. The whole point is that you are free sexually, and people would be free. They would, act out however they would like. What we really need to recognize is that while it is pushed that gay people are so discriminated against, and in some cases that's true, but in some cases they're favored because they're willing to have sex for anything, right? Not all, but men who are over sexualized are more likely to not have a conscience about what they're doing with their sexuality. And so we have lots of industries that are run completely by homosexuals and people who have sold their souls sexually, right? So we're looking at the entertainment industry. We're looking at a lot of politicians. Sex is being used to confuse and to capture the minds of youth who should not even be focused on sex. Children are already healthy sexually. They just need to be protected from the sick adults, okay? And in saying that, we need to address the sick adults. We need to hold the churches accountable, hold the pedophiles accountable. We have to hold pedophiles accountable because it changes not just the essence of the child's sexuality, but that is a violation. It's a violation. And it's becoming more and more accepted under the guise of the Pride Festival because we're bringing children in and they are very confused. Okay? No child should say that they are any kind of sexual. Like if they haven't hit puberty yet, then they are asexual. I mean, they have a gender, yes, but not a sex because they're not having sex. They shouldn't be having sex. They should have their only time in your life to be a child. It's very important. If you don't have the time to be a child, then you will always be trying to recapture that. When you get older, there will be a hole in your soul, okay? And that is what we are doing to a lot of children and people who are impressionable with the music industry, and all of the things that we're promoting on the computers. The children are oversaturated in sexuality, Okay, me myself, I can say that I'm a Virgo. I have Venus in Virgo. Therefore, sex is not something that I'm going to be like overwhelmed by as far as a motivating factor. For me, I really am quite prudish in the way I see sex. I understand that not everyone is, and there's room for everyone. I'm not putting down people who are very sexual. It's okay as long as you are doing your shadow work, making sure that you are clean, that you have good energy, and that's what you're transferring to other people, not to capture their souls or to do any demonic work, which is what sex is used for quite often. So, me myself, I've been celibate for 2 years, and it's been great. Even the last interactions I could have done without. um, because there's so much outside of sex. Sex can be a distraction. And again, if the energy isn't correct with the person that you're intimate with, it can fuck you up. You know, I can say that my interaction with my ex-husband fucked me up because his intentions were not good. It was to capture my soul, and many other things were done mind control wise in combination. And that bitch is gay. And let's just be real, a lot of the elite men are. A lot of them. I won't say any other names because I know many, but I won't say it. The point is that if you look at the fraternities, the sports teams, the gangsters on the street now, like all of them are hypersexual. They're having sex with each other. They're doing initiations and shit to create, I guess in their mind, a closer bond with one another. You know, like that whole "we don't love them" host. They're serious. They don't love us. Instead, they have been programmed to use us in as many ways possible while they get wild with one another, which is really disgusting if a woman doesn't sign up for that, you know, but it's true. A lot of manipulation is taking place, and the only way that any of us are going to make it through this spiritual warfare that we're all in, and that is what we're in right now, is to get yourself grounded however you need to, okay? So for me, celibacy was important, is important, until I can build a relationship, a friendship with someone that I feel like I can have a proper intimate relationship with. That's the only circumstance that I want to have any sexual interaction. I'm not giving the most sacred part of myself to anybody who's just like passing through and who I don't know, you know. And if someone does that, then how often do they do that, and how clean are they? Come on. So I mean, we just need to be honest. The deceit and the lies of the down low man or the down low predator, even if it's a woman. There are some women who are predators now, lesbians. And the reason why I say lesbians is because it's only in masculine energy that would be a predator. Female energy is passive by nature, so it doesn't seek out to take control of other people, okay? So that's by definition. Female energy is receptive. We receive. And I do have male energy for sure. Like, that is what a leader is. In order to be a leader, you have to have male energy. In order to go outside of the box, you have to have male energy. I have male energy. I work with both, you know, but I am also heterosexual. I don't yearn to be with women because I'm a woman and I like men. And the truth of the matter is that also the LGBT community is really It's compromising the little bit of manhood that we have left in this world, right? If someone rapes you, that feminizes you because you are the one who receives it. And so we're living in a world right now where we have so many people with unspoken traumas about how they've been abused in the past, and then they go on to do the same thing to other people, and it's like a virus that has infected the world intentionally. Not to mention that they put chemicals in the food intentionally to feminize the population. And if you don't know about that, look up Tyrone Hayes and atrazine. That is a chemical that they put on our food, on corn, and also in some drinking water. And Tyrone Hayes was a researcher. I believe he was at Berkeley, and he was doing studies on the frogs that were receiving the runoff from the farms. And what he found was that they were changing sex in only one lifetime. Like, they were born one sex, and by the end of their lifetime, they changed their body parts, and they were having sex with the same sex. And these things go into our food. If they're like the corn, it would have to be GMO or not organic, right? Because pesticides, it wouldn't make it where it's not organic. So that's why it's very important to only eat organic corn, okay? In case you don't know that. So authentically, this is something that has been very concerning for me, even when I was in college when the Pride Parade started. As far as what the focus is, it kind of encouraged in the youth's minds that debauchery is something that we all need to be focused on, and it's not. It really isn't. We really have some serious shit to clear up. The elders, I would say the baby boomers, have really failed us. They have failed us. They've been some selfish ass bitches trying to just hold on to power, and they have set up so many different ways to make sure that the youth are not able to rise up and actually create a beautiful world that we all deserve. So, don't be fooled by the politics of the day. Don't watch all the things on the television because they call it Hollywood for a reason. Hollywood is holly, the wood of holly. And the wood of holly is what they use to do magic tricks, to make the wand, right? It's known to be a great wood to do magic tricks. And that's what the entertainment industry is. It is an entity that casts spells on your mind by showing you all of these different stories and ideas. When you take them into your heart and your mind without any type of filtering or understanding of what you're dealing with, it's extremely dangerous. I rarely watch movies. I haven't watched a movie. I think Get Out was maybe one of the last ones. I like to watch children's things. But still, I'm really into studying what's going on in this world in reality, because that's way more exciting than the fake things, So shout out to my fellow investigators. The word conspiracy theorist was created by the CIA to vilify people who search for truth. So shout out to the truth seekers. We need each other more than ever. We have to help people who are under the spell of everything that they put out. So, if you spend your time watching a lot of television, or movies, you should pull back. You should pull back, I would say, because it's just like a vision board. It's just like affirmations. Like, whatever you put in is what you get out. So if you watch a movie, watch something that's something you want to happen in your life. because it gives it power. You understand? And what's happening right now? A lot of things are manifesting that were movies like 20 years ago. And those are movies that we should have rejected then, but now because we've seen them, people aren't tripping when they see, the robots walking on the street, the Terminator type stuff, the cloning that they're doing. It's insane where we are right now. And in order to pull it back, we're going to have to take control of our minds again. And we're going to have to overhaul all of this if we want to survive this. It's not just this isn't just a really relaxed, casual conversation. This is a life or death conversation. Our lives are in the hands of villains and demons. So what are we going to do? The first thing you can do is not lend your spirit to them. Okay? And, then we have to crawl our way out of this bitch. We have to reclaim our spirits. We have to clean up our actions. We have to go back and deal with the traumas in our own lives and also in our families' lives. I myself, I am very clear that I am the one in my family that's here to uplift, my ancestors who, like, if you think it's bad now, can you imagine when killing people, like, because of our color, when killing people was legal? It wasn't illegal to kill black people. And so people like me would not have been alive in the past. I've been outcast in lots of different ways, but I've survived, thank God, because I have been targeted. And it's only because of spirit that I'm alive, because of the instruction of spirit, which I focus on every day very intently. So I would encourage everyone to create a direct line. It doesn't have to be like the typical prayer, get on your knees, and it can be, but beyond the prayer, you have to be able to activate your faith in spirit in the way that you live your life. Let go of the lies and the things that they tell you as far as the way that life is supposed to look. It can look any way that you want it to look, the 9 to 5 and then plus doing extra hours in the evening and stuff, that's slavery. And somehow we found ourselves working more hours than we did before. Like, things should be getting better with technology at this level, but because capitalism is the focus, it's getting worse. It's trying to make us more imprisoned, more enslaved, and more dependent on them. I think I'm going to end it here. But I will be back tomorrow to talk about something else. So today, the topic was authenticity. I encourage you to be authentic, to set the boundaries for things that do not agree with your belief system, to tap into spirit in all ways that you can. Give yourself permission to be authentic. So important. So I'm taking my own advice in that area by not being obsessed with the idea of presenting myself any kind of perfect way, not feeling like, my camera's not good enough, my, whatever's not good enough. I'm good enough, and I'm authentically me, and I'm going to keep being authentically me. So, thank you for your attention. Please like, share, subscribe. I don't have any subscribers right now, but I will. And so if you see this, please like, share, and subscribe this video. I would appreciate it. And also leave a comment below if there's anything that really rang true for you, because that would mean a lot to me, to get any kind of feedback as far as what impressed upon your spirit in listening to me. So thank you. Have a blessed day. Peace.